Welcome back to another episode of Tonight's Watch. I'm Geoff.
I'm Ron.
And if this is your first time joining us, pretty much what we do every Sunday night is we give a quick couple minutes worth of spoiler-free synopsis of the new episode of Game of Thrones. Today we will be talking about episode 8, No One, which, another fucking fantastic name.
Yes.
First and foremost, you have to call that out. Loved it. It was absolutely genius in how it kind of set the tone, and they've just really done a great job with the titles this season.
They really have.
Even before, when we didn't specifically call it out as a cool point, they've done a really good job. Ron, what were your thoughts, spoiler free, about tonight's episode?
Hot damn. Back to you. No, just basically hot damn, and we called what the big climax is going to be.
Yeah. Man, this fucking episode was...
A lot of shit went down.
Well, what was crazy, too, is, like, a lot of shit went down, and they didn't even touch on, like, half the storylines.
Not only that, did you notice they sprinkled a shit ton more comedy in to break up how dark the last few episodes have been? And it wasn't just like, okay, guys, we need to lighten this up. Let's shoehorn this joke in here. Like, it was well thought out, carefully laid shit that, you know, was said or done or whatever. Like, it was actually kind of dark in places, comical at the same time, and a lot of shit went down. It was crazy.
And more of the incredibly disturbing sound effect work, which we will go into gory detail later. But yeah, I thought this was.
I already
one of
know
the,
what scene.
I thought this was one of the better episodes of the season.
I did too.
I really liked it, and now, after this brilliant season, we get the final 2 episodes directed by the Hard Home dude.
Here we go.
And then
buckle your fucking seatbelts, folks.
Jesus fucking Christ. And did you see what the title is of next week's episode?
I don't remember. I remember us talking about it before.
It is even better than what they've been doing, because it is the most amazing name ever. It is Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
It's fucking amazing. So I think all next week is the Winterfell fight. What do you think?
Yeah.
You think they're going to go the whole episode?
I think it's going to be Winterfell and Marine.
Oh, like the 2 big fights going simultaneously?
I think it's going to cut back and forth.
Oh, I can't freaking wait.
Naval Battle 2.0, I think, and Winterfell.
I'm salivating just talking about this right now. But yeah, that is a spoiler-free section, so we're going to go ahead and break now into full spoilers. So please go and watch the episode and come back and join us if you haven't already seen this week's episode. So the episode starts out with Arya back with the actress. She's pretty much the only person she could turn to in the entire world at that point.
Pretty much. I also liked in that scene how the actress's reaction to pulling back the curtain and seeing her was another bleeding child in my dressing room.
Right. So, freaking Arya, man. She gets stabbed like 3 times. She gets slashed and still somehow makes it all the way across the city back to the actress. Like, she is a freaking fighter, man.
You show me the knife and I just faint.
Yeah. I want no part of this, bro. I want no part of this.
Yeah.
Did you have any notes to add at the beginning of the episode? I actually did not. I just put it down as a...
No, not really. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't, because for some reason my brain was just, where's she going to go? Because the acting troupe was just out of my head once we moved on from there. But,
well, the actress wishes that they were outside of the show. At the
right.
From there, they go to the Hound, who is maybe my favorite character of all time in anything. Dude, when they show him in the fucking background as a blurred fucking Jason Voorhees silhouette type thing.
Walking tall.
Oh my god, it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, because you just see him, dude. He's walking up to a group of like 4 guys with just an axe, no shield, and he just gives 0 fucks, knowing he'll be able to take all of them down casually.
And he was blurred out the entire time because he's in the background. The entire time the focus is on the dude in the foreground. And the look on everyone's face.
When he takes that axe to the guy's crotch, I will be feeling that next week. I'm pretty sure my reaction was full Gosling from the Nice Guys. Jesus. First of all, we will have to fucking contain ourselves from quoting every single line the Hound has in this episode because everything was quotable.
Oh, everything was quotable.
I had to write down this one, though. It's the very last dude he has alive. Fuck you. Those are your last words. Fuck you. Come on, you can do better. He's like, cunt. You're shit at dying, you know that. Just the way he delivers every fucking line. Oh my god, I love the Hound. I love the Hound so much.
I love that actor. I want to see him in more.
Yeah. Rory McCann, I think is his name, or McCrane. God damn, he's good. Fucking every line gold. Every fucking line gold. Did you have anything else to add with this section?
Just that I could watch an entire Hound spinoff.
Oh my god.
I would fucking love it.
I love it. From there, they go to Tyrion and Varys, one of the absolute best bromances in the show.
Agreed.
I love me some Varys and Tyrion.
Dude, the look
it's established that Varys looks like he's going off to do a secret meeting. You're kind of left to assume he's going to actually do the Greyjoy meeting. Is that what you got from it?
Kinda, yeah.
Because he says to Tyrion she needs ships and she needs help, I think. So to me, that means he's figured out the Greyjoys are in town, or in Slaver's Bay, I believe that's where they are. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to basically try and recruit them for Khaleesi. Was that what you gathered from it?
Kinda, yeah. I'm torn on if it's that or something else, and I don't know what that something else is. That's kind of where part of my mind is.
I think, just quickly jumping ahead a little bit, I think he has to be doing that because I think the Greyjoy ships are the cavalry, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
With Varys. So yeah, I think that's what he's going to do, though. I did really, really like their quick back and forth, and you actually kind of show just like with their dialogue how much they do genuinely like each other. Yeah,
dude, that's what I was gonna say. The look in Tyrion's eyes when Varys starts walking away is kind of heartbreaking.
I know that he's his bro, and then you think back to like all the mischievous shit they did at King's Landing, and then after all of that, to still be friends. Because we often forget Tyrion would probably be dead if it wasn't for Varys, because he's the one who gets him out of King's Landing. So, right. Yeah, I love the line too, though, where Varys, before he's leaving, he's saying, "I can't be seen walk into a secret meeting with the most famous dwarf in the city," and then he walks away, and then he calls him out like, "Varys, most famous dwarf in the world."
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was money.
Did it cut from there back to him with Missandei and Grey Worm?
From there, it went to Cersei.
No, it went to Cersei. Okay, so that's later.
It went to Cersei, Lancel Lannister, and the other High Sparrow bros.
Oh, dude, this scene.
They walk up, pretty much telling Cersei, "You're coming with us." Cersei walks out with a goddamn mountain, and it's just like, "Make me move, bitch."
Dude, the first guy that it zooms in on when the mountain comes out, the way he's looking at the mountain
is the way that any normal viewer would react to him. I love he was basically like the avatar of the audience.
Yeah.
Because that he is this fucking, even if he was fucking scary before he was a goddamn zombie. So now it's like, why would you even fuck with him?
Do you think eventually he's gonna lose the helmet in the middle of combat?
Do what?
You think in the middle of combat he's eventually gonna lose the helmet?
Probably, and then the person will shit their pants and run away because he's fucking terrifying even with the helmet. One of the most badass lines Cersei has ever had to me was when I wrote down where Lancel gives her the opportunity, you can come peacefully with us or there's going to be violence, and then she just straight up says, "I choose violence."
Yeah, that was pretty metal.
That was fucking metal. And then you have the mountain going goddamn Mortal Kombat mode. That was the note I put down. I put Mortal Kombat much. When he fucking takes the dude's spinal column, it just... oh my god.
Fatality.
Right? That's the other thing I'm going to be feeling like a week from now.
My back hurts. What'd you do? I watched Game of Thrones.
The fucking and then one of the other the lines in this episode, Benioff and Weiss were on fucking point, because another one I wrote down was the last thing Cersei says as Lancel and the other Sparrow Bros are all just like backing the fuck off. She just tells him, "Please tell His High Holiness he's always welcome to visit," and then just walks away.
Yeah. No, she's always had really good lines. She's always been a very strong character and a pretty awesome character, but she's never been more badass than what she was in this episode. I don't think she's ever had a really like true badass moment.
And we talk about it all the time. You should not like it at any point when Cersei has awesome moments, because she's such a shithead.
Yeah.
But you can't help but respect her when she has like that awesome of a line delivery and stuff like that. It's just
Lena Headey's so good.
Did you have anything else to add with that one?
Nope. I think going full Predator on someone pretty much covers it.
The mountain dude. At some point, they have to have a scene where he is just going fucking Mortal Kombat on a group of like 50 dudes. I want to see that happen. I want to see.
I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure he's just gonna be throwing people left and right.
And it's going to be glorious, and I'll probably have to throw up after I watch it.
Keep
From
a bucket
there,
handy.
they transition to Brienne and Pod arriving at Jaime's camp at the Tully castle, and I actually really loved the Bronn and Pod scene.
I did too. First, before we go into that, I was going to say I love how when the riders come up to them, Pod's like freaking out and trying to get her attention or whatever, and she just acts like she's the fucking head Lannister or something in that moment, you know? She's like, "Tell Jaime I'm here to see him," da-da-da-da-da. And she's like kind of giving them orders more or less than anything.
Pretty much.
She rode up to a camp trying to lay siege, and she was just kind of like in command of the moment. I really liked that.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, the Bronn scene with Pod was fucking awesome and kind of adorable.
Well, the conversation Bronn has with Pod about he's almost like a Kevin Smith character. They have a whole fucking exchange where he's just like, "Would you fuck her? I'd fuck her."
Has she seen your dick yet? Like, yeah.
He's like, he makes a call back to the prostitutes that Tyrion and Bronn,
you're the one with the magic
calls
cock,
them the magic cock.
Yeah.
And then he has that whole fucking conversation with him about just like, she'd fuck him. That's the really annoying thing about him. I prefer the younger brother in that regard. Like,
yeah, he said the way everybody looks at him.
Yeah,
it is the way everybody looks at him. But that part's kind of annoying. Yeah, I love Bronn. I'm so happy Bronn's back.
I know, every line is fucking gold. The thing with Pod where he's like, he starts to talk shit about him. He's like, I could have fucking killed you, because he sneaks up behind him and he's just like, Brienne's teaching me. She's teaching me the night way. And he's like, that's not every way to fight. And then he starts basically the whole thing about, show me your stance.
I really liked one of my favorite things, and it's one of my favorite things about Bronn, is the way he calls out the shit. Because he said, she's teaching me to fight. And he's like, oh, is she? And then he said, yeah, an hour in the morning, an hour at night. And then he's like, well, how is it that I could have just fucking killed you? Like, he just called him out on it like completely, because like you said, that's maybe a knight's way to fight, but that's not how everyone in the world will fight, and he really would have been dead if that was a real scenario.
And I love the thing too where he's just like, show me your stance. And he starts to point out how his stance fucked up, and he just slaps him, and he says, one of my favorite quotes was, lesson number 1, assume everyone wants to hit you because they do.
First life lesson.
Everyone wants to hit the fucking squire.
Yeah.
From there, they actually go over to Brienne and Jaime.
I
thought it was really cool to see them together again.
Yeah.
Their scenes together back in, I think it was, season 3? When they were on the road together. I think that's when it was.
I'm sure someone will let us know.
But yeah, their segments in that season together were some of my favorites out of the show. So I thought it was really, really cool to see them together again.
Yeah, no, I like that scene, and I like the way they carried themselves in that scene. Because really, when it comes to the other knights or any of the lords or anything, the way everybody looks at Brienne is like a fucking woman as a knight. But Jamie, you can tell, really respects her as an equal. You know, they're both knights and everything. They both have the kind of like closeted love story where, you know, you can kind of tell there's something between them, but neither one of them will admit it or act on it. And
yeah,
they're technically enemies.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things. I didn't put it as a note, but it's kind of like a mental note. Like, they're pretty much star-crossed.
Pretty much.
It's like they actually have kind of a Shakespearean relationship.
Yeah,
it's really, really beautifully done, and it's really it's a good example of great subtextual writing.
Totally
would
not have worked without those two actors.
And like you were pointing out too, how they're pretty much enemies. I love the exchange where, you know, Brienne has tried to give him back the sword. Jaime respects her so much, he gives her back the Valyrian steel sword, which is such a big deal because the showrunners point out in the after show thing, there's only like 10 of them in the entire world.
Yeah.
And she goes to leave the camp, and then she just kind of awkwardly has to tell him. It's just like, you know, basically, I have all this respect for you, you have it for me, but we're on opposing sides. I will fight you if I have to, because she is one of the most honor-bound characters in the show.
I like what Jamie has to say, because it's an expression I use all the time, and I laughed out loud when he said it. And it was when she basically says that she's honor bound, you know, to fight him if she has to. And his immediate reaction was, "Of course you are." Man, but they have such an interesting dynamic between them that I agree with you. Like the acting between them is superb. Tormund would not approve.
cut to Tormund in the background, like. From there, pretty much Brienne gets an agreement from Jaime that if she's able to talk the Blackfish into surrendering the castle, then Jaime will actually let them take the castle peacefully, and then pretty much everyone gets what they want.
Yes.
Jaime gets the castle back, except for Blackfish, right? Jaime gets the castle back. Brienne gets the army she needs, and Blackfish specifically, to help with Sansa. So she goes on this mission to actually go into the castle, and you know, she makes a lot of good points with Blackfish. I thought their scene together was really, really fantastic too. I like the way that the Brienne actress carried herself, especially when she like just forcibly stuck the letter out in his face and actually got him to read it when he was basically telling her to fuck off at first, you know?
Yeah.
I liked how leading up to that, before he actually got the letter from her, he was kind of telling her to fuck off by basically saying, you know, I haven't seen Sansa since she was a little girl, you know, blah 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 blah. I don't know you, I don't know them.
He pointed out the gold sword with the lion head pummel.
Yeah, Blackfish, man, he's a clever motherfucker.
Yeah, he is. He put two and two together just from seeing her sword.
I really, really like how it's this really cool little moment, and you kind of blink and you miss it, but I thought it was really, really well written. He actually takes the note from her, he's reading it, and then his quote is, "She's exactly like her mother."
Yeah.
I really like that moment, because it just goes to show you, it's like even Sansa, in the way she writes out her letters, is becoming Catelyn Stark.
Yes. I also, another thing I wanted to point out, you know how I pointed out with Brienne earlier, how no one really seems to respect her or anything because she's a woman in like a knight's position and everything. He made it very clear that he doesn't know who the fuck she is, and he doesn't care who she is, but he also just respected her as much as he would any other knight. Blackfish is a really cool character, man.
He really is. And that actor needs to be more shit.
Yes, awesome. He does.
I actually looked him up on IMDb. Did you know he was in Thor 2 and one of the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey? And I had no idea he was in them. Yeah. I actually need to go back and seek out exactly which characters he was playing, because I love that actor. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he was great.
Anything else to add with this section, Ron?
Nope. I just really liked the fact that when he points out the sword pommel, and she goes on and on and on about all this backstory, but about Jamie and her and the sword and everything else, that he's just kind of like, oh, didn't really know that, and he takes the letter from her. like she basically kind of she's the one person so far that has gotten Blackfish to take a step backwards.
And actually have a conversation with, because he has told everyone, including his own dudes at this point, to kind of go fuck themselves. So.
And how heartbreaking of a moment when he walks away, which, even though it wasn't a favorable answer, I liked the way he delivered the answer, because you totally understand what he's saying. But when he walks away, how heartbreaking on Brienne's face when he says, "What do I tell her?" In the Raven.
Yeah.
And she says, "Tell her I failed." And then it cuts right from there.
Yeah.
You're about to cry with her when you see her face.
Freaking, it's what's crazy is, like, with Game of Thrones, they have characters all over the spectrum. You have one end where you have the people who are honor bound to a T, to the point to where it can literally get them killed with people like Snow and with Brienne. And
or
then
the
it's
one
like
dipshit
all
later.
the opposite it. And then, people are just such shitheads that there's honestly not a lot of in between. Like, there's a whole lot of people who are either complete shitheads or too honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, Brienne, I guess, is the only person to not get killed because of her honor.
Another thing that's interesting while we're still talking about Brienne is most of the time, when you have a character like Brienne, it drives me up the fucking wall. Like, I can't stand her. Just too much of a Boy Scout or whatever.
Like Superman syndrome?
Superman syndrome. I would say pre-Chris Evans Captain America anything. Because like in the cartoons and stuff, just like, fuck you, Captain America. and stuff. And you have a show where everyone is either gray or black. And then you have a character like Brienne that her character, if it's gray, is ever so slightly, because she is, like you said, completely honor-bound and does everything she's supposed to do, even if it would get her killed. Yeah, all to a fault. And she doesn't drive me up the wall. I have complete respect for that character, and I love that character.
Yeah, I do too.
It's amazing how well she's done.
I completely agree. From there, they move over to Cersei, and then my fucking note that I have put so many times throughout this season is, God damn it, Tommen. That little shithead.
This scene, man, totally fucked her over.
So the scene, it's so frustrating to watch. We should be happy that it looks like Cersei's gonna fucking die, and we can't even enjoy it because Tommen is such a little shithead. Like, it was just complete and utter horseshit. Like, he is so gullible and easy to manipulate. He has sided with the High Sparrow over his own mother.
Right.
Like, I was at a loss for words at that, because I was not expecting this to happen a little bit. That the thing we're referring to is Tommen makes a decree: trial by combat is a no-no from now on. We're going back to the old laws, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I was completely floored. Like, I'm pretty sure my jaw hit the floor.
The other person it's screwing over too is his fucking wife's brother.
Yep.
Because he specifically points out in his speech to the crowd the trials of Cersei, and is it Loras? Is that Iron Fist's name?
Yes.
So it's like, what the fuck does Marjorie have to say about that too? Marjorie has been siding with him and the High Sparrow, bro. It's like, Tommen is so incompetent. He doesn't even, I don't even think, fully understand what he's doing.
And I especially love the fact that he threw in, after conferring with the High Sparrow, he's come to this decision. Like, of course you did, Tommen. Of course you did.
He is not a psychopath. I want to strangle Tommen as much as I did want to strangle Joffrey. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I know. It's amazing. Just how much they can make you hate a character. And Tommen just proves that they don't have to make them do awful things directly to make you hate a character so much. You know, and I'm not saying that I hate the character itself. I'm saying that I hate the character the way I'm supposed to, the way he's written.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, it's just like, oh, Tommen, I need ibuprofen just to watch all your scenes. Yeah, no, and the look on Lena Headey's face, again, fantastic actress.
Yeah, when she gets... I mean, how many times has Tommen screwed her over?
I don't even know at this point.
I can't even count how many times that little shithead has screwed her over. And it was like I was saying, she is such a shithead that we should be happy for this moment, but fucking Tommen...
Yeah. Characters that you love to hate.
Yeah. Ugh. Anything else to add with this portion?
No. Just... I have a question for you.
Shoot.
I don't remember what the rumor was she sent Necromaster out to investigate.
I actually was going to ask you that because I forget as well. And I appreciate you calling him Necromaster. So yeah, if anyone is actually listening, please give us a heads up as to what that callback was to. I'm assuming it has to be from that scene when he's in this scene with her and the mountain, all the little kids, right?
Yeah, and Jamie
he talked
and
about
all
the
them.
birds. I'll have to go back and find that scene because I honestly don't remember. But yeah,
I honestly don't remember either.
Calling out to the X-Force if anyone.
This shit is so dense. Like it's so dense it just overwrites other information in my brain.
Yeah. Let's see. From Cersei, we transition back to Tyrion. In one of the most human moments I think they've ever had in the series.
I really like this moment because I love all three characters that are in the room.
More brilliant acting. Dinklage, man, deserves an Emmy nomination for this exchange alone.
Yeah,
because of how likable he really is.
Yeah.
The delivery, like I like where he's desperately trying to get them to drink. I like how Grey Worm, after Tyrion is trying to get him to drink, he's just like, I'm not allowed to drink. And he's like, oh yeah, who made up that rule for you? Would that be the Masters? Like, and then Grey Worm's just like, fuck, he's right.
I took it more as like, fuck you, god damn it. Yeah.
Anyone not drinking is disrespecting our queen. Yeah, then how great was the Grey Worm joke? Like,
yeah,
it was actually, I think it was the most heartwarming moment I've ever seen in the show because it was so adorable.
Yeah, what a character moment. Because have we seen him smile before?
Probably not.
Because, I mean, like, what a character moment that was. Because you think Grey Worm's just going to be Grey Worm through the whole scene. And then he told a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how the Missandei actress almost looked like she was genuinely laughing just because of how good Grey Worm's delivery was, the actor for that. She looked like she was genuinely laughing at it. It was... You don't often get to throw around the word adorable in Game of Thrones, and this whole scene was absolutely adorable.
Yeah. Everything about that scene was adorable. The Grey Worm actor, man. You know, you would think the Solace monotone characters would be the easiest ones to portray, but it's really not. So the fact that he can seem so emotionless and so robotic all the time is fairly impressive.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. And then, of course, with every heartwarming moment, the city gets terrorized by an entire fleet of battleships.
There are fucking trebuchets built into their ships, Jeff. They don't have to make land to siege your city.
The special effect in that scene, by the way, was fucking astounding.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was straight up movie quality.
Yeah.
Out of that. It was just fucking stunning to look at. And that's this. Imagine what we're coming up with these last two episodes. Like, when they strategically save budget for the important shit. Like,
right.
It's gonna be fucking crazy. It was the Masters coming back, right? I think
yeah, she said the Masters are coming to reclaim their property.
Okay, that's right. I was remembering a little bit of the quote, but I didn't remember the exact quote. Yeah, I absolutely loved all that, and it was like to a T. Our joke we make all the time. It's like every adorable moment. Jesus Christ, full Gosling.
Yeah.
With that, they go back to Jamie in a fucking great exchange too between him and Edmure. That Edmure actor is actually damn good too, because I've been watching The Night Manager. He's one of the main characters. Well, not main. He's a supporting character, but he's one of the focal points of the show.
I had no idea he was in that.
He is fucking fantastic in that show too. He's really, really good, and it was actually nice that they actually got an opportunity for him to be more than like a guy in the background.
I remember him in an episode of Doctor Who that actually has the Davos actor in it too, and that's mostly what I remember him from, is that and this, and he was pretty fucking good in the Doctor Who episode too.
Those fucking Brits, dude.
I know.
Like they're all like
them in the theater.
Amazing. It's ridiculous. You gotta love how you go from heartwarming Jamie with Brienne to I'm a cold-blooded son of a bitch in this exchange.
Yeah.
Like when he's basically going through the motions with him, he's just like, I liked his lines of dialogue where he says, stuff like, "Oh, I'm sorry I gave you the impression this was a discussion,
a negotiation."
Yeah, and
I liked that, and I liked when he said, "You think I care about who you admire?" And he's like, "No, I know you don't, but you're my prisoner, so I'm going to tell you anyway."
Shut the fuck up. His line delivery on the lines of, "I don't care about your wife. I don't care about your toddler. I only care about fucking Cersei," and then fuck pretty much the rest of the world. That's his motivations. It's
also one thing that Jamie said, his line delivery was fantastic on, was "I even understand that you have a child that you sired on your wedding night. You are a potent man."
That was good. Benioff on Weiss, dude. This episode is almost like a Joss Whedon movie. Every goddamn line
gold
was quotable. It's crazy. And then Jamie showing his true Lannister colors. How brilliant. He fucking takes over the entirety of the fucking Tully Castle without even having to siege it, because he was so clever about it. They show how he does it by Edmure walking up to the castle. Another great Blackfish moment.
Yes.
Because the Tully dude at the top of the gate, who's in charge of the gate, is, Edmure is still technically the Lord.
This is the dipshit I was talking about earlier. That is also like loyal and honor bound to a fault.
Yep. The whole thing is, technically he's right. Edmure is still the Lord. He should still obey him. Blackfish is like, "You're a goddamn idiot. Why the fuck would they let him go?"
I loved the line specifically went something like, "My lord has given an order, my lord," and then he says, "Yeah, with a knife to his throat." Yeah.
Well, that Blackfish, man, I love me some Blackfish.
Yeah, everything Blackfish says and the way he delivers it is just awesome.
They let Edmure in. Edmure obviously hands the entirety of the castle over to Jamie on a silver platter, because and you honestly can't blame him that Jamie is threatening his fucking his infant child and his wife.
Yeah,
and it's like, what is he really supposed to do at that point? I thought that was a really, really cool Jamie moment. How it's cold blooded, but it's brilliant.
It was very Tywin.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing also is, if he did lay siege, how many of the soldiers that may end up going to Sansa at some point ended up living because of this moment too?
Mm-hmm. So, curious too, they have the scene where they're showing all of the Tully guys throwing their weapons into a pile. So are they just now straight up prisoners until further notice? Is that pretty much the impression you got?
Pretty much, yeah. Right now they're war criminals.
Yeah, they show from there Blackfish helping Brienne and Pod escape the city by getting them onto a boat, and then Brienne is desperately trying to get him to go with her because she knows what's going to happen.
My favorite Blackfish line of all time in this scene.
Take it away. Did you write it down?
Yeah.
I wrote it down if you wanted me to say it too.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I just need to go back to it. I didn't have it up. Haven't had a proper sword fight in years, and then he looks at the sword, looks back at her, and goes, I expect I'll make a damn fool of myself. And then he goes towards the sounds of the soldiers. Fucking
Blackfish, man. I want a Blackfish spinoff. I want a Hound spinoff. Who am I missing? Pretty much Braun, any supporting character. Jorah. I'd watch an entire spinoff show of Littlefinger being an asshole. I'd watch that.
It's amazing how many of the supporting characters are your fucking favorites. You know, they're the supporting roles.
Dude, I was thinking about this earlier. The Hound hasn't been in the goddamn show for like 2 years. It's like, oh, he's one of my favorites. I love him.
He's been in like, what, 2 episodes?
Yeah, since like season 4, he's been in 2 episodes. It's crazy. Yeah, and then, man, I was sad to have fucking Blackfish. I mean, he goes out like a boss, but I actually thought this was one of the most brilliant uses of killing a character off screen. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty effective the way they did it.
The way because it's like it's so effective in that you're like it amplifies the fact that he pretty much died for nothing.
Yeah.
Because the exchange, the way that they deliver the information is brilliant too. Because Jaime is on top of the castle that he's sacked pretty much, and then he gets delivered the message. He's like, "Sir, we found the Blackfish." And he's like, "Cool, bring him to me." He died fighting, and then Jaime's just like, "Holy shit, he died!" Jaime's taken aback too.
Yeah,
I thought it was really, really brilliantly done because the
fact that they had to find him too. That means that it was pretty much off to the side, echoing that, and in front of virtually no one other than who killed him. Because it wasn't out in the open, no one saw it. It wasn't this grand spectacle, and you didn't even get to see it as the viewer. You find out the moment Jaime does.
It's really, really well written as far as turning tropes on their heads, which I always appreciate in writing.
One thought that I had, remember my Stannis argument? That, like, when the first time they did that, and I talked about how I didn't feel like he was dead because Game of Thrones shows you every single brutal death, and we didn't see it, and it was Brienne. Well, I think we're leading up to one of those moments with one of the characters somewhere, because they show you every single brutal death, and then now several times they have had off-camera deaths. I feel like they're getting you used to that idea, because if they just out and out did it, you wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah, they kind of have to cover their bases.
Yeah,
as because do you still? I'm pretty much like I recognize that too, and how many times they've done this so far this season, especially. I think 100% Stannis is dead.
I'm there with you on Stannis, but I think in the next couple episodes or in the next season, they're going to say the same thing about one of the main characters or something, and then they're going to turn up.
They're going to well, technically they already kind of did with the Hound, so I don't know if they'll do that again, because they made the Hound reveal such a big deal. They didn't even show the intro music until after the reveal happened.
Yeah.
So I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know if they're going to have necessarily time anymore, because we pointed out in the past, I don't know if we've converted on the Tonight's watch, but next season is 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And more than likely, since that report turned out to be true, the final season will be 6 episodes. I don't know if they're going to have time to pull that shit anymore. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have to see.
It just feels like they're getting you used to this so that they can use it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And then one of the other just more beautiful moments I think they've ever done in the show was after Jamie gets that news of Blackfish, he sees Brienne and Pod rowing away. And he has this brilliant fucking bit of acting where not a word is said, but he looks to his side as if he's mentally juggling, like, what do I do? Do I fulfill my my honor and duty to House Lannister, or do I let basically my friends go?
Yeah.
And he looks back down at the boat, and then at that point, Brienne kind of notices he's there, and then he's still kind of mentally juggling it. Then all he does is raise his hand that he lost with Brienne.
Yeah.
Raises it up to wave, and she waves back, and they just row away. That was like fucking beautifully done.
I liked that, and I liked Brienne's acting in that scene because you could tell by her eyes, her facial expression, and her very unsure wave back that she recognizes it's basically by Jaime's mercy that they're getting away.
And she also recognizes, too, and Jaime does as well, that's the last time they'll ever be able to pretty much be friends again. At that point forward, they're on opposing sides.
Yep.
They'll probably and like the showrunners pointed out too, like there's a chance these characters, are not oblivious to the fact either that they might not ever see each other again either. That could be the final time they ever see each other.
I also like the symbolism of, like you said, that next time they see each other, if they see each other at all, they're basically on opposing sides. And she's rowing down the fucking river. How many times is a river or anything like that used to describe opposing sides as a dividing line?
Yeah.
I mean, everything about that scene was just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful writing. Did you have any other notes with this section?
Nope, that was it.
We go back to Marine, and you get more of the fucking amazing special effects where they're going rampage on the pyramid and shit like that. Oh, It looks so awesome.
Trebuchets, Geoff, built into their ships. What the fuck?
How is that even possible?
Yeah, seriously. Like they don't need to make land to siege your city. Because I mean,
I like how
there's only one other group that we know of that it has a fucking awesome navy. If you can siege somewhere without ever making landfall and no one else can get out to you to stop you, I mean, you're just going to steamroll everyone.
Back at Marine, they show the pyramid and the city getting fucked up by the trebuchets and...
On ships!
I like how there's dragons. You're just like, Geoff, there's fucking trebuchets, and they're on goddamn ships.
How many fantasy anything or medieval anything have you seen? Have you ever seen a trebuchet on a ship?
No.
Dude, that is the medieval version of our modern day battleships that shoot from miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. They transition up to Tyrion, Grey Worm, and Missandei up in the fortified...
You know more talk. That was awesome.
You talking has got us here, so shut the fuck up, Tyrion. And Tyrion's just like, bro, I fucking apologize. What the fuck else you want from me?
Yeah. I love that. Was an awesome Grey Worm moment. Just like, no. This is your fault. You talked. You know more talk.
That was an awesome Grey Worm moment too. I also really liked the Missandei moment where she grabs the knife.
Yeah.
When they think they're about to get overran, she grabs the knife. They're all bracing for battle, and then she's fucking back. Finally, Khaleesi walks in. You're just like, thank God. And we're gonna need your dragons like now.
Yeah, and you get to see fucking Charizard in the background flying off. I hope he's flying out to the fucking Navy, but yeah, that scene though felt so much like the end of the episode that I actually moved my mouse over the window to see how much time was left because I was like, what? Does that not feel like it should be credits right after she walked in?
Yeah, it totally could have been. They probably had some conversations back and forth as far as if that should have been the ending of the episode, because I think the way I've heard it before is they actually write out all the stories individually, and then at the very last thing they do is they kind of organize them the way they want to organically transition from scene to scene. So they probably did have some conversations back and forth about how to end it. I agree. But yeah, I said it earlier. I think the Greyjoys proving themselves to Khaleesi is then coming in with the cavalry with Varys, and I think pretty much the Greyjoy ships are what helps them save Marine. Khaleesi's like, yeah, you guys helped us with this. We're cool with you now. That's kind of impressive to her. And then I think this is actually a prediction for me. How you were talking about how you thought this could have been credits. I think the very last thing we see this season is her getting on the ships with the Greyjoys heading to Westeros. I think that's the last moment of the season.
I think so too. Okay, so I called it Naval Battle 2.0. It's actually going to be the first naval battle because last time when Stannis was attacking King's Landing, his ships got fucking blowed up before he could do anything.
They got blowed up real good.
Yes, they did. With some green goo. I love me some green goo. And yeah, so technically that naval battle never really started. So I feel like we're going to get all-out sea warfare on this.
With fucking dragons.
With fucking dragons. And I think this year's, like, basically Hardhome is going to be cutting back and forth between naval battle and Winterfell.
I'm going to need a moment.
And
so just
because here's the thing, last season and this season were 2 books combined, right? And we had the first half of both books last season. We got 2 climaxes this season to get through, and I have a feeling that this may be the first time that it spills over into episode 10, maybe the first 20 minutes or something. I think there's going to be so much going on. I don't think they can complete it in one episode.
Or they also could go the route where, okay, in this episode, you saw the beginning of the Khaleesi fights, but we got nothing from Snow and Sansa. Another route they could take is if they're really, really set on just having one full episode be one battle, and the Winterfell thing is such a big deal, I could see them basically having 2 Hardhomes, where next week is straight up, I mean, it's Battle of the Bastards, too.
Yeah.
I could see them also either cutting back and forth, like you pointed out, that could be really cool, or next week is the entirety of the Winterfell thing, and they never cut back, and then episode 10 is like 2/3 of it is like another mini Hardhome where it's just that Marine battle.
Is episode 10 the 69-minute one?
Yes.
Okay. So something is definitely going down in episode 10 for sure.
So yeah, I think either you're right or next week is all of Winterfell, and then with that episode being extended as well, they would have enough time to pretty much do like 30-40 minutes worth of just that battle.
Yeah.
So
that's probably I forgot that they were extending the length of one of the episodes this season. So that's probably more what's going to happen, because honestly, if you got a few dragons flying around, what's a few wooden ships to you?
Yeah, and they
have sails for kindling.
Right. Did you have anything else to add with this section, Ron?
Nope. Let's get to what everyone wants to talk about.
Well, actually, from there they go back to the Hound, so we need to talk about that first. So, my first note, they show the Hound come back. He's still tracing down the other assholes that killed all of his friends.
Still looking for Foggy.
And then my first note was in with all exclamation points. The Red Priest guys are back. I love those dudes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Hound's not the only one that's back. Pretty interesting that they're hunting White Walkers. They're on their way north.
Yeah.
Where did they get word of that?
Maybe they have a way to communicate with Melisandre. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's that, or do you think the Three-Eyed Raven did something before he died? He had all kinds of shit going on, downloading info into Bran and everything.
Yeah. Interesting, too, we haven't seen or heard from Bran in a while either.
No, we haven't.
That's another thing they have to touch on probably in episode 10 is the Bran stuff.
This is off topic, but while we still got Bran brought up, one thing I've been expecting that they might do that I think that'd be kind of cool, just because they could get away with it if they wanted to, but they probably won't, is every once in a while the Three-Eyed Raven actor still showing up, because it's one of the things he set up before he died. Every time Bran goes into the past or something, like he's there, like almost like a Force ghost, but not blue.
Yeah, that'd be really cool too.
But that was one thing I was hoping they might do, because you could literally get away with it with that character easily.
Well, my main thing I want from Bran won't happen for 2 seasons. I want to see him work Charizard, dude.
Right?
I want that bad. But
now, he can't do that when Khaleesi would be riding.
Yes.
He's going to have to take on Thundercracker.
The Red Priest guys, Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr. I made sure to write down their names because I would not have been able to come up with them off the top of my head. So, I really like those guys. They were one of the cooler sub-characters from, I think it was like season 2 or 3, whenever they were in before, but I really liked them. Cool to see them back. I was not expecting them to pop back in with the Hound, even though they fucking set it up, because they talk about how these are members of the Brotherhood Without Banners, the guys who actually go and kill the religious group that the Hound was with. That was like literally fucking spelled out for you, and I went completely over my head. Yeah. So,
I didn't get it either.
The more brilliant fucking lines of dialogue come when the Hound catches up with them, and they show us the camera shows you just them about to be hanged, and then it reveals that the priest dudes are there, and then they fucking. They begin bartering with executions, and it's like one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. And it should not be fucking funny, but it totally is.
Yeah, I know. It was amazing. I also especially loved how the priest dude like catches the axe and was like, no, we're not butchers here, just hanging.
I put down some quotes that were great. The first thing they say when they see the Hound is like, "What the fuck you doing here? Chasing them? You?" Hanging them. And then like the bartering I was referring to, fucking Beric and the Hound are just talking to each other casually. It's just like, all right, you can have one of them. And then Hound stops for a second, looks around, and is like, 2.
Yeah.
Fucking gold. I love the Hound. He's amazing.
Yeah, everything that the Hound says and does is awesome.
Like you pointed out earlier, like they kind of end cap it with them trying to recruit the Hound, and they're going north White Walker hunting. I didn't see that coming even a little bit. That's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere they gave us a hint as to that, but it went right over my head if they did.
Yeah, me too.
There's too many houses and clans and everything to keep track of. I'm sure it's easier when you read the books because you're just immersed in it so much more, but...
Dude, all I'm saying, though, fucking Hound, hook a brother up with a Valyrian steel sword, and then watch the Hound go to town on some White Walkers, dude. That would be metal as fuck.
Yeah, dude, get him some dragon glass in one hand and a fucking Valyrian steel sword in the other.
No, dude. We burn down one of the swords and give him a Valyrian hatchet.
There you go.
Be fucking metal, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna need a moment just thinking about that one. Do you want to jump to the Arya stuff?
Yes.
Okay. More fucking brilliant shot of the background being blurred out, being fucking effective as hell, is the scene of the actress stepping up onto the stool and you just see a blurred out figure behind her. More effective than fucking anything I've seen in a horror movie in years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was brilliantly shot. Basically,
everything with the Arya scene is the first episode of the Assassin's Creed show I want.
Yeah. If Assassin's Creed actually gets a sequel, this director should be directing it, I think.
I think so, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
Obviously, it's the waif who you pointed out, everyone else on Twitter is pointing out too, literally needs to be a Terminator, like now.
Yes.
She's fucking fantastic.
I wanted to so good.
I wanted to make a note of the actress too, Faye Marcy or Marseille. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she's great. Another role I think she'd be good at too is she made me think of the Black Widow in Agent Carter. The way that she kind of carried herself, like just kind of like subtextually psychopathic almost.
Yeah.
I could see her being a Black Widow at some point too for something like that. She was amazing. Unfortunately, the actress gets killed that wakes up Arya, and the waif just starts going full Terminator mode. And then, fucking Arya, Assassin's Creed her ass outside the 2-story window, I couldn't do that without being stabbed the day previously.
And I love that sure, it wouldn't be possible in real life, but they still avoided the trope of she just lands and gets up and runs, because she screams in agony from one landing to the stomach wound, pauses and hesitates for a moment and has to recover for a second, and then gets up to run, and she's reopened her fucking wounds just doing that.
Yeah, that was one of my notes too. It's every step you feel the pain with her. It was really, really well acted and
yeah, dude, Macy Williams has come a long way, man.
Their chase through the city, I think, is going to be better than anything in Assassin's Creed this year.
Probably.
I just have a feeling.
Yeah, probably.
It was fucking intense, man.
It was, and then
I was on the edge of my seat
when she loses her. And, she's looking around who could she be now? Because Arya can't trust her eyes, basically.
Oh, my God. The House of Black and White people are fucking terrifying.
Yes, they are. But, again, more use of the blurred-out background character. She's running on top of the fucking wall behind her, blurred
Silently.
out. Silently.
Like fucking Black Panther style.
Yeah, and that's exactly the entrance she makes when she jumps down off of that wall.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just craziness.
Yeah, that chase, I was on the edge of my seat. You want to talk about fucking painful, dude, is what felt like 10 minutes of Arya painfully rolling down after she jumps away.
Yeah.
She rolls down, I'm pretty sure, 5 stories worth of steps. And you're just oh, God, I can't watch this right now.
Yeah, with that stomach wound.
Yeah, that's when it really starts affecting her, because that fall and all of the steps she rolls down, she was already bleeding probably at that point, but she's gushing blood at that point because all of her stitches are gone at that point.
Yeah.
And fucking Arya, dude, such a boss. She's intentionally leaving a blood trail.
Yeah.
To get the waif.
Another brilliant use of the Hollywood trope. They always inadvertently leave the blood trail, and they always follow it, and the actor never saw it coming.
Yeah, more brilliant usage of tropes from Benioff and Weiss. She lures her back to her little. It's almost like a. It's inside of a building, but it's almost basically a shack where she was staying at the other night. And how fucking awesome, dude. More brilliant use of shit happening off screen. She lures her back in. The wave closes the door. Arya pulls out needle, and you're expecting this fucking badass fight. And then I was not expecting at all for her to slice the cannon. I was like, oh shit, dude, that is awesome.
So that was horrific to me in the sense that I one time was playing Dark Souls, and I got invaded, and I ran back into a closed-off room like that, and the invader walked in, and then their character slowly turns around and shuts the fucking door. And I was like, oh, God. And they were between me and the door was shut. So
pretty much.
I had all kinds of alarm bells going off when Waif walks in and shuts the door.
But, genius fucking setup with that.
Oh, I know. And the imagery and the metaphors of her using needle to take her out too. Yeah,
fucking everything, just absolutely brilliant of the payoffs for the Arya storyline. So you don't get to see the fight. She cuts the candle, it goes black. Cuts from there to Jaqen back at the house and the House of Black and White. He sees the blood trail. At this point, you don't know who won the fight. He follows the blood. One of the most metal fucking things I've ever seen in my life is Jaqen finding Waif's goddamn face up on the wall, dude.
Yeah.
I almost got chills. It was so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was creepy and dark, but absolutely perfect way to send a message to the House of, was it Black and White?
Yeah, the House of Black and White. And one of the best exchanges of the season in the show, I think, is between Jaqen and Arya at this point. Because Jaqen, you can kind of tell he's actually happy Arya won.
Yeah.
Because he has a soft spot for her, and he always has.
Benioff and Weiss actually talk about that in the after show part, the behind the scenes stuff.
And what's so brilliant about it too is he's supposed to be no one. He's supposed to not have attachments to anyone, and yet he totally does for Arya.
I think it was Benioff that said that even after all this time and all the things he's done, there's still just a tiny shred of humanity in him that was rooting for Arya, and it's revealed in that scene.
If it had been anyone else but Arya do the shit Arya did, Jaqen might have personally gone and executed her.
See, and that's the heartbreaking thing I thought this might come to a close with, is Arya versus Jaqen. Yeah. But they ended up going a totally different direction.
But the direction they go is so much more just fucking perfect. And it was just a beautiful fucking send-off to Arya's storyline of the last 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Where he says, I forget his exact quote. I wrote hers down, but I didn't write his down. I think he says, "So finally a girl is no one."
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
One of the best fucking lines of the show is, "A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell, and I'm going home." At that point, you know that LaBeouf meme where it's clapping intensifies?
Yes.
That's that fucking moment personified, dude.
And Macy Williams has mastered the art of walking away like a badass, dude. Because that music kicks in, and she just turns and starts walking towards the camera. And again, Jaqen kind of blurred out in the background. You can tell exactly where he's looking and everything. And then when it cuts back to him, he has that little, wry grin come across his face. Yeah.
Brilliant. I cannot say that enough about the pay,
it almost makes you feel like he groomed her for that moment. A little bit.
Well, I think honestly, if he could have had his way, she would have stayed with him as a part of their little cult forever. Yeah. But he has so much respect for her in pretty much her telling him to go fuck off that almost gets more respect from him for doing that than actually doing what he probably wanted her to do. Yeah. It's just great. And this whole conversation we've had, why this show is so awesome and so well done, is none of this shit is spoon-fed to you. All of these things, what the showrunners are talking about, all of the subtext, all of the imagery, good writing, the viewer can pull these parallels for themselves. They don't have to be spoon-fed. Yeah. And I just, all of the adjectives, fucking fantastic payoff. And here's my question. Do you think we'll see Arya again the rest of the season?
Probably not.
There's
not enough time for her to get to Winterfell for the battle, I don't think.
Yeah, I think if we see her again, it'll be in episode 10, and it'll be her going over to, maybe a way she gets over is she's actually a stowaway on one of Khaleesi's ships. That could be something they do. Yeah. I literally have no idea what specifically they're going to do with her next, but I think if we see her again at all, it'll be very briefly, and it'll be her going over to Westeros as well in the last episode.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that we'll see her again. I think they might have just closed her chapter for the rest of the season.
They have a lot of shit to cover in these 2 episodes. That's why I got extended on the last episode. Yeah. Ron, are there any other notes or points you wanted to bring up before we sign on out of here?
The only one that I want to say is something I've been saying throughout this entire episode of Tonight's Watch, and that is, Game of Thrones doesn't have bad episodes. They have episodes that are better than others, but they don't have bad episodes, and they definitely don't have bad actors. And this episode showcased every single actor's ability that was in the episode. They're characters that I have seen time and time again throughout this entire show, some more than others. But even still, even knowing those actors and their acting style and seeing them in those characters for so long, a lot of them still found a way to impress me throughout this episode.
110% agreed. I have a prediction for next week. Okay. During the Winterfell battle, I don't know if it's going to be Ramsay doing it to fuck with them at the beginning or after he's lost. I don't think Rickon makes it out of the next episode.
I don't think he does either.
I think, honestly, Ramsay being Ramsay just to fuck with them, I think I could see them beginning the fight with him marching Rickon up on the top of the wall and him like slitting his throat and kicking him off the side of Winterfell. I can honestly see them doing something like that.
I could see them doing something like that, or I could almost see at some point they just find him like flayed or partially flayed even, just because it's Ramsay. And I think whatever it is that happens to Rickon leads to Ramsay's gruesome death, whatever it is.
I agree. What's funny too is I was actually talking with one of my coworkers about this, who's also really into the show. At this point, we are so late in the game. Rickon, I don't know how he's approaching the books, but he's such a minor afterthought in the show. At this point in the show, I think he actually works better as motivation for other characters than being developed himself.
Which seems to be the route they're going.
Which, yeah, I think...
Because they haven't even shown him since they brought him into the room and revealed him.
Yeah, I think either at the beginning or at the end, right before they... Man... I think they really, I'm sure they did, because this has already, like long been done. I really hope, and I'm sure they will just because of how awesome they are. I want the most fucking gruesome death for Ramsay.
Yes.
Like, they have to, he is such a scumbag, they have to go over the top with it almost to make it satisfying, and I really hope they did. I think they did.
I hope it's an ironic death somehow.
Even if it's like... Even if it's the giant going Hulk on Loki, like in Winterfell, like just crushing him into fucking jello, I'm okay with that too. I just think, and there's so many different routes they can go with it. I think next week's is the last time we see Ramsay, and goddamn, I hope they pulled it off, because I've been looking forward to this forever. And he does even more fucking gruesome, terrible shit in the goddamn Telltale game you haven't played yet. You even have more fucking reasons, as if you needed any more, to hate that son of a bitch.
Is he in it?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Out of all the characters they had from the show, he actually has the biggest impact on the Telltale game as Ramsay.
Really?
Yeah. More fucking reasons to hate that motherfucker. Yeah. If you would like to check us out more, please like and subscribe. Not only do we do Tonight's Watch every Sunday night, we also do Let's Plays, podcast, commentaries. We're going to be doing actually a lot of E3 stuff this week if you're curious about gaming. And our mediocre opinions, as you are fully aware of by now. We also have Facebook and Twitter, links in the description below. And most importantly, if you know anyone else that might also appreciate our stuff, we would really be grateful if you would give us a share. For this night, all the nights to come, I am Geoff.
And I am Ron, and now this watch is ended.